My name is Bob Harden. I'm here with Pastor Rick Stevens and also with Keith Flaw. Pastor Rick and Keith are the co-founders of the Southwest Florida Citizens Alliance. Keith and Pastor Rick, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Bob. Thanks, Bob.
You have such an interesting story to tell. Tell us a little bit about how you started the Florida Citizens Alliance.
Well, we started back in December of 2012 as what has now become a chapter of the Florida Citizens Alliance. It was called Southwest Florida Citizens Alliance. And Bob, we had 55 people. I think you were one of those.
Yes, I was.
And we had 55 people who came together who were just very dissatisfied with how the election had turned out. And we felt that we were letting party get in the way, and we felt that we could work together on issues.
Yeah, and in fact, you've accomplished so much, and I want to get into that in just a moment. But tell us a little bit about the mission, what you're working to accomplish now.
Well, our mission, very simply, is to inspire the rebirth of liberty in Florida. And we're focused on the constitutional values that hopefully most of us are closely attuned to. And, individual freedom are the basis for our core values. We've got that all documented on our website. So people who want to know a little bit more about that can do so.
And go to floridacitizensalliance.com.
Correct.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about some of the projects that you've been working on.
Well, we started out on two projects. We started out heavily focused on the Second Amendment preservation, and at the same time we decided to focus on K through 12 education. Some people think guns and kids don't mix, but when you stop and think about it, they're really both state sovereignty issues, states' rights issues, if you will. Mm-hmm. And we felt strongly that the federal government was overreaching on both of those issues and decided that we wanted to convince our local legislature, the Florida legislature, to stand up and back off the federal government from its overreach.
So maybe you could tell us a little bit about some of the successes. What are some of the real things that you've accomplished?
Well, the thing we're most excited about right now is that the bill we've been advocating for, instructional materials bill, has been filed in both the Florida House and the Florida Senate for this session. I just saw today that our bill has been assigned to committees in the House, and so we're beginning that process. And that's real encouraging for us. We've worked very hard. We were very eager last year. It got filed, but then it didn't get anywhere. This year we've made more progress, and we're seeing it move right along in the legislative process.
That's great. And Keith, what can our listeners or what can our viewers expect once the law is passed? What will happen?
Well, once the law is passed, it's what's called a fix-it bill. The original bill a law that we're trying to fix was passed in 2014. And it was passed, Senator Hayes at that time was the champion for the bill. And its intention very simply was to restore the local control to the local school districts and the community to review textbooks and materials before they're purchased and give the community and parents an opportunity to raise objections. And then in theory, each school district was supposed to hold a In the Sunshine public forum to let those objections be raised and then make a decision on whether to buy the material or not. Unfortunately, because of some of the loopholes that were in the 2014 bill, that bill was never enacted in any of the 67 counties.
In the way intended.
It wasn't enacted, period. Mm-hmm. They just all decided not to do it for various reasons. So this bill really, if it gets passed this time, this bill will move that responsibility back to the school districts. It will allow the parents and the community to engage in that discussion. We've added in a really clear definition of the quality of materials. We have huge manufacturers, Pearson's the biggest one, and they have no quality standards.
Yeah. So, I think it's important to underscore the fact that this is a non-partisan organization, that you're really standing up for liberty for all the citizens of for Florida, irrespective of their political affiliation.
Absolutely.
That's number one. And number two, you're not high-paid lobbyists going to Tallahassee. The fact of the matter is, I know that you're donating your time and talent and your treasure to make this happen. All this costs money, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. In fact, we just raised Pastor Rick's salary. He's now doubled.
Yeah.
Doubled of zero.
Yeah. So I understood. But I want to point out to those who are viewing this video right now that if these are the types of things that are important to you, I strongly encourage you to make a donation and contribute to this very important non-partisan cause right now, which is number one, helping in terms of education, and number two, in terms of Second Amendment rights.